What if the biggest thing stopping your success isn't lack of money, talent, or opportunities? What if the real enemy is hidden inside you? Not your competitors, not your circumstances, not society, but your ego. Most people think ego means arrogance or pride, but according to Ryan Holiday, ego is much deeper than that. Ego is the unhealthy belief in our own importance. It's the voice inside us that says, I already know enough. I deserve more. I'm better than others. I don't need help. And slowly, that voice destroys growth. Ego makes beginners think they are experts. It makes successful people lazy. It makes failures impossible to recover from. This book is not about becoming weak or losing confidence. It's about removing the noise that blocks your real potential. Because history shows us something powerful. The most dangerous enemy is often the one inside us. And the people who achieve extraordinary success, they stay students forever. So, in this summary, we'll explore how ego destroys ambition, success, and resilience, and how humility, discipline, and self-awareness can completely transform your life. Let's begin. Part 1. Aspiration. When you want to become something. At the beginning of every journey, ego whispers dangerous lies. It tells you to talk instead of work, to show off instead of improve, to chase attention instead of mastery. Today, social media has made this problem even bigger. People want to look successful before becoming successful. They announce goals publicly. They post motivational quotes. They build an image. But deep inside, very little real work is happening. Ryan Holiday explains that talking too much about goals gives your brain a false feeling of achievement. Your mind feels rewarded before the work is done. That's why many people stay stuck in planning mode forever. They want recognition more than progress. Talk less. Do more. One of the biggest lessons in the book is simple. Silence is powerful. The world celebrates loud people, but history respects disciplined people. Think about great athletes, artists, entrepreneurs, and leaders. Most of them spent years working quietly before the world noticed them. Real confidence doesn't need constant validation. When you truly know your value, you stop trying to prove it to everyone, instead of saying, I'm going to become successful. Become so focused that success becomes unavoidable, because ego loves attention, but mastery loves practice. Stay a student. Ego says, I already know enough. Humility says, I can still learn. And the moment you stop learning, you stop growing. The greatest people in history remained students throughout their lives. No matter how successful they became, they stayed curious. They listened. They observed. They improved. But ego hates being corrected. That's why many talented people fail. They become emotionally attached to being right. Instead of improving themselves, they protect their image. And slowly, growth dies. The truth is, a beginner mindset is a superpower. Because when you stay teachable, life keeps rewarding you. Don't be passionate. Be purposeful. This idea may sound surprising. Modern culture says, follow your passion. But Ryan Holiday warns that passion without control can become dangerous. Passion is emotional. Purpose is steady. Passion screams. Purpose works quietly. Passion wants instant results. Purpose is patient. When people are ruled by passion alone, they become impulsive. They overreact. They burn out. They lose focus. But purposeful people stay calm under pressure. They focus on long-term growth. And that's what creates greatness. Part 2. Success. The most dangerous phase. Ironically, ego becomes even more dangerous after success. Because success changes people. Once people achieve recognition, money, or influence, ego enters silently. Suddenly they think, I'm special. I can't fail. The rules don't apply to me. And that mindset destroys careers, businesses, and relationships. History is filled with talented people who were ruined by ego after success. Not because they lacked skill, but because they lost humility. #success can create blindness. When success comes, people stop listening. They stop improving. They surround themselves with people who only praise them. And eventually, reality hits. The book explains that success is rented, and rent is due every single day. You cannot rely on yesterday's achievements forever. Every day demands discipline again. That's why the most successful people remain grounded even after winning. They continue practicing basics. They continue learning. They continue respecting the process. Because ego says, you've made it, but growth says, you're still becoming. Hashtag, never believe your own hype. One of the most dangerous things in life is believing the image people create about you. The world may praise you, people may admire you, followers may increase, but if you start worshiping your own image, you lose touch with reality. Ryan Holiday explains that fame often creates illusion. People become addicted to applause. And once that happens, decisions stop coming from wisdom. They start coming from insecurity. The need to constantly appear important becomes exhausting. That's why truly powerful people don't chase attention. They focus on substance over image, because image can disappear overnight. Character stays. Hashtag, work for the work itself. This is one of the deepest lessons in the book. When your happiness depends only on external success, ego controls you. But when you genuinely love the process of improving, learning, and creating, you become unstoppable. Because now, failure can't destroy you. Praise can't control you. Criticism can't break you. You become internally driven, and that creates peace. The goal is not to become obsessed with recognition. The goal is to become obsessed with excellence. Part 3. Failure. Hashtag, when life breaks you. Failure reveals true character. When life becomes difficult, ego reacts emotionally. It blames others. It avoids responsibility. It becomes bitter. But humility reacts differently. It asks, what can I learn from this? Ryan Holiday explains that every great person faced failure, rejection, humiliation, or setbacks. But what separated them from others was resilience. They didn't allow ego to destroy them emotionally. Instead, they used pain as fuel. The power of self-awareness. Most people think self-confidence means believing you are amazing, but real confidence is different. Real confidence means seeing yourself clearly, knowing your strengths, knowing your weaknesses, knowing where you need improvement. Ego avoids self-awareness because truth hurts. But growth begins when honesty begins. The moment you stop pretending, transformation starts. That's why self-reflection is powerful. Ask yourself, are you chasing growth or validation? Are you learning or just showing off? Are you building skills or building an image? These questions can change your life. Hashtag, detach from outcomes. Another powerful lesson from the book is this. You cannot control everything. You can control effort. You can control attitude. You can control discipline. But outcomes, not always. Ego becomes emotionally attached to results. That's why people panic after failures. But disciplined people focus on process instead. They understand. Success takes time. Growth takes patience. Mastery takes repetition. And because they are detached from immediate outcomes, they stay consistent. That consistency eventually creates extraordinary results. Hashtag, turn pain into power. Every successful person has suffered. The difference is, some people let pain destroy them. Others let pain sharpen them. Failure can become your teacher. Embarrassment can become motivation. Rejection can build strength. But only if ego doesn't turn pain into victim mentality. Because ego always wants someone to blame. Growth wants responsibility. And responsibility creates power. The core message of the book. The enemy is not outside, it's inside. Ego destroys ambition before success. Ego destroys humility after success. Ego destroys resilience during failure. That's why controlling ego is a lifelong practice, not once, every day. Ryan Holiday teaches us that greatness comes from humility, discipline, self-awareness, and continuous learning. The quiet worker often defeats the loud genius. The disciplined person often outlasts the naturally talented person. And the humble student keeps growing, while arrogant people stay stuck. Number 1. Stay humble even when you succeed. Success is temporary. Keep learning. Number 2. Focus more on action than appearance. Looking successful is not the same as becoming successful. Number 3. Remain a student forever. The moment learning stops, growth stops. Number 4, detach from validation. Don't let praise or criticism control your identity. Number 5, let failure teach you. Pain can become power if handled correctly. Number 6, build character over image. Image impresses people temporarily. Character earns lasting respect. At the end of the day, ego is not defeated once forever. It returns again and again. When you fail, it whispers insecurity. When you succeed, it whispers superiority. When you dream, it whispers impatience. That's why awareness matters, because the more control you gain over your ego, the more freedom you gain over your life. And maybe true greatness isn't about becoming better than everyone else. Maybe it's about becoming better than the person your ego wants you to be. So stay humble, stay disciplined, stay hungry, and keep growing quietly. Because real power never needs to scream. It simply works.